Calling the meeting to order at 5 minutes after 7, and we pull up the agenda. All right, can everybody see this?
Yes.
Great. So, all right. Before we get started, whose turn is it, Rebecca, to do the notes?
Well, I did it the last time, and do we go by last name or first name? That I don't remember.
Okay. We'll go by last name.
So Moore, who comes after M, or is there another M?
T.
I did it before, I did the time before, and I'm a mix, I'm an MC, I was before her.
That's right.
Might be my turn.
Yes.
Can I borrow a pen of yours?
You can have the whole thing.
All right.
That's
Great. So we'll start with Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll jump into the meeting. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving and surviving this wet December. I wish we had this rain in the fall, right?
Right.
Tell me about it, the field could have used it way in the fall.
I know. It was like cement. Anytime I went to see my kid play a sport, it was a dust hole.
Yes.
Trust me, it was a fun year in the football field, trust me.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So we don't have any attendees from the public today. Wait, I've got
I wonder if you had last month's up.
I pulled the wrong one.
I was gonna say, it said November, so I didn't know if you were.
No, I can pull up. That was my
So if
bad.
we're a T, I mean, the element should be turning over pretty soon then.
I think so.
Tell that Dennis Brogan we're coming back to
I
the
know,
bees.
seriously.
All right. We're back on track. Here is this month's agenda. The one that I sent to everyone.
Yes.
Okay. So first thing is review and approve minutes from the November 13th meeting. Did anyone have additions, corrections? Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from last month?
Motion.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Minutes have been approved. So next is our meeting time and frequency. So we originally were a 7:30 start time, which we shifted for the Master Park Planning Committee engagement, which is now concluded. So I wanted to put it to the group. Would you like to continue at the current time or go back to the original time?
I like 7, but I don't have children or anything like that.
I have children and I like 7 too.
You do?
Yeah.
All right. And both your children are out of the house.
One of
Wait,
us will
wait.
know, but the other way, yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna have to step down. So,
Now, will that be in the first of the year?
yes.
Okay. Well, that's sad to hear because we've appreciated your contributions. But anyway, so 7 o'clock is good for you also? Even on a day like today when you have to travel?
I was gonna say, I prefer 7 o'clock, to be honest with
What do
you.
you do?
I do prefer 7. Unfortunately, they changed my days from Tuesday to Wednesday out there. So, but no, I would prefer it to be 7. I would, because I think most times I'll be able to make 7. And I see it's also about the frequency. I think that's something that we need to also bring up as well.
Sure.
I don't know if meeting every month is still a necessity at this point.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys agree, disagree. At this point. I mean, I don't mind meeting every month, but especially, you know, there was a little change in the time that because we had that hiatus, and then there was a summer there, and then we didn't meet. So, and unless the master park plan really needs that, I would suggest that maybe we look to go every other month.
Mhm.
I think that might make it easy for everyone's schedule. Now, I'm just suggesting that, but some might say, hey, listen, if we have it every month, then it becomes, there's a sense of regularity, but when we have it, we go. Because what happens if you have it every month? And then, of course, the one day we want to have it in the second month, you know, it snows, or the world comes to an end, or everybody has, everybody's sick. But I understand that, but that it's just a thought. When you had wrote frequency, I was thinking about that.
And that's exactly what I wanted to put to the group is, how does everyone feel about how often we meet? And over the past years, there's been so much to address that monthly was needed. Because I know prior to me joining the Parks and Rec board, that they did meet monthly, and they did meet in the summer.
I was gonna say, it was for a couple, when I first started, you met once a year.
Once a year.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I was gonna say, and then I suggested, I said, listen, go at least meet quarterly, and then we started doing quarterly. Because, then it was just a bunch of people, and they would just come around, they would, basically, I think they came around to see each other for a year, that's all it was.
Right.
I was like, we're not accomplishing anything here, so.
Mhm.
And so then we went to quarterly, and then we went to monthly, because a lot of stuff came up. And then, my suggestion is bi-monthly, and then obviously with the, option of, hey, listen, guys, we're gonna need to meet. Hey, listen, I mean, but I know the difference is now we have to publish all that, and is that gonna give you enough time to do that? And say, hey, listen, hey, let's say we meet every even month, we'll call it that.
Mhm.
And then, hey, listen, but we decided we need to meet in May. When do we need to, and we decide that in April. Does that give us enough time to publicize it so public comment can be made?
Yeah, what is it 30 days or something like that you have to have it published? I remember Alan once said that.
It's 72 hours.
Oh, that's it?
Yes, but because it has to be put in print media as well as digitally,
That's it.
it's, that's the shortest turnaround, 72 hours. So I'm pulling up.
And I remember that it used to be we had to give everybody 2 weeks notice. And I was gonna say, and that was before, but now, because,
Advertised, I believe, is like the minimum advertisement.
well, and why it was 2 weeks is for the print media, because that's when the mainline Times would come out
Oh, okay.
every week. And so you have to give them 10 days notice before they would print. Now the mainline Suburban Times is hardly what it was then, so, and not many people in the circulation is way down. So, and with everything being online, so.
Has there ever been a topic too that you've come up against that needed such a rapid turnaround? That needs to be addressed by us and not by the board or the borough manager?
The only time that had, do you remember when the hurricane came and the tornado took half the playground down? They took the trees down, they ripped the dugouts out,
Okay.
and that's when, and even then, we had to have a meeting, what we could do as far as clean up,
Right.
and we got a local guy to clean it up and just got it safe. And then the dugout thing took so long, and so actually, a group, Norbert AA, did the dugout stuff separate, and they got their own funding, and they put the dugouts up, and everyone said, oh, great.
Okay.
What print media do we have to be in? That it just seems so out of date that we still have to be in print media.
Mainline Times is the one.
That's it.
Gosh, I don't even do that. I don't even know the resume.
Well, I mean, because my wife and I are long time. My wife insists on getting it, and I'm telling you, each week, it's about as thin as that.
Yeah.
Each week it gets thinner and thinner. It's like, oh my God, it's like smaller than the old Saturday Daily News. I was like,
Right.
and every other page is full of, it's just advertisements.
Yeah.
And I understand that, listen, print media, like you said,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we should put it in the phone book.
Right.
People always use
Or
that.
the Friday newsletter or the newsletter.
Well, no, and to me, and that's why I said because we got 2 weeks, then at that point there, yeah,
Right,
if I think they need it by Monday, so that way
okay.
it's in there. That's what I think, that was my understanding, because most people now get that via email.
Right.
Well, then, let's look at, this is the 2025 calendar, and let's just decide now if that's okay, which months to meet. If we do every other month, do we start in February or January, right? So
Well, March is tended to be when we have the meeting with the group.
the
so
user
we
group
did it,
is
yeah.
always March, so that we would want to meet in March, okay?
Here we go. 135. 135. 7 if we need to, I don't think we do, and then pick up in September.
That's-
September and November.
So the odd months and then.
So January, March, May, and then,
And July being the maybe one, if you think you need to, and because I know it's a big holiday month for everyone, a big month, vacation month.
Right.
Start in September again, because that's basically when, because we may need to meet in July, just because that's when the fields are there. I mean, because people start using the fields in August for the sports, whether it's NAA or everything like that. But I was gonna say, you could even get by that in September. Or if you, I
and
mean,
then that brings us through November and then back to January.
Mhm.
So
Good.
we have January, March, May, floater of July if needed, and then September and November. Okay, then, and at 7 PM.
and I like that she's agreeing with everything because she's leaving.
Well, her vote still matters, right?
Absolutely, that's what I was gonna
December
say.
We probably get a meeting every 2 months.
I was gonna say, absolutely.
I think it does.
Does that change things for you?
Well, I mean, part of the problem is that a lot of my meetings are falling on Wednesdays, and they're falling between like 7 and 9 o'clock, and I have no control over that.
Okay.
So it's more, that's what
I don't know why all of a sudden everybody wants to meet on Wednesday. I swear.
I know.
It used to be Tuesdays. Everyone wants to meet on Wednesdays now. I don't know why.
Wednesday was, do you know why it changed to Wednesday?
For us, well, because what it is, because a lot of people, whatever carried over from the previous week was Monday, Tuesday, and then you want to implement it before the end of the week. Whereas they said Tuesday was, for me, was, well, whatever happened, something may have also happened there. So, and because Tuesday, because so many of the holidays, legal holidays fall on a Monday.
So it was always a Tuesday, or?
Yeah, it was, for me, I always had big meetings on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now it seems like, it's just like she said. I think
we have the ability to figure that out. We don't have to stay on Wednesday. I know we made the Master Park Planning Committee meeting on Wednesday for the benefit of Parks and Rec, obviously, but there's nothing that says we have to keep it on Wednesday.
Well, we used to meet on Mondays.
Oh, you did?
That's what it was like the third Monday or whatever, but I don't, listen, my schedule is irrespective of it. I mean, if Wednesday works for everybody else,
What about you, Rebecca?
That's fine. I'm looking at the borough calendar. So it looks like the second Tuesdays, if it's consistent, there's the Shade Tree Committee that meets. The Shade Tree.
Their meetings are shifting to Wednesdays, or to Thursdays, sorry.
Yes.
And then
And
Borough
Borough
Council is
Advisory.
Thursday.
So that's why when
Is,
well, actually, Wednesday then made sense, and that way if you did something in the borough council, you could at least have it on the table. So listen, if Wednesday works for everybody, that's fine. Yeah, I was gonna say, because I think if you try to do a Thursday.
what about the first Tuesday?
People
Thursdays can work. It looks like the first and the third Thursdays are borough council meetings at
What
7.
about Tuesday?
It looks like the second Thursday. Now, again, if it's consistent every month, the second Thursday looks open. for the council room.
Okay. What about Tuesday?
Well, Tuesdays, we're on it already, so, right? Oh, no, Tuesdays, well, that's
Today's Wednesday.
weird. Oh, Wednesday, yeah, Tuesday's the shade committee on the second Tuesday, The third one,
What about the first Tuesday?
first, looks like there's nothing.
So that's one option, first Tuesday of every month, if that works for everyone. We
Yeah,
had
and that looks pretty consistent as I look through. I mean, if he's updated, if Alan has updated whoever has said yes to their meetings, it looks like the first Tuesday of every month is open for us if we want it.
Right now, just for me, and this has nothing to do with anybody, Tuesday would work, but that's just me. I was gonna say, listen, if Tuesdays are bad for everybody else, my only thing is that I hesitate on Thursdays because people take long weekends on Thursdays, so then you always be missing something. I'm all correct.
What about you, children's activities for two of you?
Well, so my husband's starting a new job in Washington DC in
Okay.
January, and he'll be like working remote and part down in DC. And right now, the plan is to be down Tuesday nights, but then it might be sometimes Tuesday, sometimes Wednesday. So I think I'm just gonna have to figure that out.
Well, you could also do it remote from home.
Yeah,
In the
potentially.
Past,
Listen, if Tuesday doesn't work, that's fine, I mean, Wednesday's fine. But
well, I'm gonna look
I
at
don't know
my
if
kids'
Tuesday or
sports
Wednesday,
schedules.
like we just found out they do a happy hour on Wednesday. And so he's like, well, maybe sometimes I'm gonna wanna be there on Wednesday. Not every week, but sometimes I'll shift to Wednesday instead of Tuesday. But like, we can work around the schedule of the meetings too, and as to
Well,
which weeks that happens.
If we shift to Tuesday, would you wanna stay on?
The biggest problem is that the meetings I have right now are so unpredictable. So this week it's Monday, Thursday, next week it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I have no control, and it's a group of like 50 people, and I'm on this project for the next year. So I have no idea, so I can't, that's part of the problem.
Okay.
So I have no, and I'm one person out of many.
I feel like we might wanna ask
The other
the
people,
other
other people.
person.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna say
Yeah.
that, I know Dennis doesn't have young children, but I know,
He's grandchild actor.
well, yeah, I know 2 days a week he's watching. So, and then this weekend, I know I have the grandchildren, that should be an experience again. For them. My wife has one set, I have the other set.
Aww. Well, you could bring them to the meeting and then they could play Roxy. Right? You're such a sweetheart.
I'm texting
So
Dennis.
from ruining her.
I was
meeting
gonna-
right now, she's so cute.
No, if she comes to you, it's okay. It's just the reason that the vet says that is so we're in public, people don't
Yeah.
put their hands on her.
Yeah.
And just,
She's very, very
be all
sweet.
over. Yeah, she's a
She's a sweetheart.
little love bug.
Are you
All
gonna?
right, no, it's, well, I think we can put that on the agenda to discuss next meeting, find out, this way we'll find out, because I mean, I can go knock on Jamie, I guess Jamie Day's on the.
Yeah, I can text Jamie if you want.
I was gonna say, Jamie lives 2 doors from me, I could throw a rock, I could throw a rock through her window.
Don't do that.
Does this work for you? Actually, she has a little library in front of her house, I'll put it in a note in there.
Aw, that's probably brother. Yeah, I'm very sad, but
We'll see what Dennis says. Okay, so we'll circle back to that if we hear from Dennis and Jamie. Okay, so let's stop sharing this calendar. That's great. If Tuesday works for me also.
If it doesn't work, don't worry about it, hey, listen, Wednesday works for everybody else, that's fine. I can make it work.
Okay. Right, let me pull back up the agenda.
I'm gonna join her calls anyway.
it's very interesting, it's just thank you.
All right, so The next is the defibrillator funding request update. So I reached out to the Industrial Development Authority and to see if there's such a thing as emergency funding, because the budget for the borough has already been approved for 2025, so it's not something that can be added. And they directed me to, there's two ways to approach it. You can go to the borough manager and our council and request the funding. And you could also make a request of the Industrial Development Authority to do matching funding.
So is
So
that true? Is that a state one program?
the Industrial Development Authority, it's a committee within the, it's a volunteer committee, just 3 hours. But I don't know, it's not, I don't know the particulars on like the guidelines, if it's like state directed,
Okay.
required, but they, so they told us matching is an option or just request.
Mm-hmm.
So what I wanted to put out to the group was, the Mainline Health is a sport park, baseball field. Jim, what did they do? Because they have signage on the backstop. Is that just old signage?
That's just old signage.
So at one time, did they give us money?
I'm saying, no, they gave the borough money to put that up. They did not ask, I said they gave the borough just a little bit of something. It's like, and they would do, the Earth Day and the Narvis Run, they would come and do like a blood pressure screen and things like that, and just have that there. I don't know the nature of that relationship. It was just up there. I know people were looking for sponsors and they said, hey, listen, can we put something up there? And that's what it is. But I don't know if they've given a single dime in the last 2 years since that thing's been up there.
Because what I would like to do, if everyone is on board, is reach out to Mainline Health and say, would you like to, donate an
Sponsor.
AED, sponsor our AED either 100% or 50%, because we have access to matching funds. I'll actually ask for it all first, and then if they say no, then say, what about 50%? And then they can put a little sign that says donated by Mainline Health. So it's only one. It would be one centrally
And
located
I will
park.
tell you, I know they have, because being in that field, I can tell you they have probably about 30 AEDs in a closet that people don't even use.
So,
Really?
so then they could just buy the outdoor housing and, give us an existing unit.
No, they're not gonna tell you that they're giving you a single. They're gonna, we bought you a new unit, but I can just tell you.
As long as it's not recertified, if it's sitting somewhere else, right? I don't want to use one. I say, because when I was researching the cost for the unit and the housing, and the housing with an alarm, a light,
Yeah.
and
Would you come up
an audible noise. There are recertified out there, which I had no idea existed, and they're a lot less. But a new one, approved for outdoor housing with an alarm, audible, and a light would be about $3,500.
All right, yeah, I was old enough for it.
So
That was the number I was old enough.
you're close, yeah.
So, yeah, I was gonna say, I mean.
That means you win.
And you get to contribute to it. So is everyone okay with, think that's okay? I'll reach out.
That's a great idea.
I'll reach out to Mainline Health.
Yeah.
And,
We've been working on this for a really long time, right? This would be a good thing to
yeah, it would be, the goal is to have it in place by April when sports start.
That's great.
That'd be great.
Yeah, so I'll reach out.
That's a
and
great
see.
idea.
I mean, as we always said, you don't want something to happen, and then you're forced to go get one, and then, then it looks bad, because now you're putting the worst in the environment.
Yeah, yes, it's
Yeah.
we really do.
So I was gonna say, no, that's a good idea, and then just a follow-up idea is, if they really give you the stone wall, I can't imagine they will, but if they do, perhaps we go to some of the medical providers in Narberth and just see, hey, would they be willing to, A, contribute, hey, listen, the different medical practice, everybody gives us, a couple $100 and then all of a sudden.
That is a great idea. There's so many doctors in town.
And providers.
Yeah. Okay.
The interesting about Midline Health is they might even want to do like a public teaching of how to use it or something like that.
Sure.
It's like an educational, how to use this thing in real life.
Yeah, that would be a great idea for the ribbon cutting.
Right. They
Give
could
it
us
a free
little-
class.
Right.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so I'll take that. And then the 2025 program that we discussed last month, that's exciting. We each had Rebecca, Cheyenne, and myself had some homework to look into options for that. And Rebecca, I'll put you on something.
Yeah, I haven't gotten very far because, well, part of it I haven't gotten very far because I didn't start until last week. And I kind of went down the wrong. I was contacting Parks and Rec, and it's actually permits. I finally found out that I should be contacting because no matter what the borough or the community is, if they're going to have a movie night, they need to have permitting because they need to check the licensure of everything. So I've reached out to the Ardmore. It's kind of weird with Lower Marion has a lot of different places. So I started reaching out to the permitting area to see what they can offer me. The only one I thought I heard last month was that Ardmore does it. But were there other places that we're aware of who have had these movie nights?
Philadelphia County does them in several parks throughout the city. So I imagine there's information on their Parks and Rec section about how they, their schedule and probably a contact.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find. I've been calling actually the staffing offices.
Okay.
I couldn't
The
find.
other one I know who does that is Media. Rose Tree
Media?
They have it in Rose Tree Park.
Oh, nice.
Does Bryn?
Oh, good. Okay, perfect.
I don't know.
But,
I don't know.
And I'm just focusing right now on the movie night part of it, assuming that doing cornhole and other kinds of game things, will be fairly easy to pull that together. Did we plan on, and I'm assuming we need to have the information first, put it into a recommendation that would go to I don't know. I'm assuming there's other committees like the business committee, other committees that have to look at it before it goes to Borough Council for approval.
Not necessarily. We can put a fully formed recommendation directly to Borough Council, and then at their meeting, if they don't take action, they can hand it to a committee and ask that committee to take on, reviewing and seeing the viability, because then eventually it still has to be voted on by council, I imagine. So we'll just go directly to council.
I would think we would need to do it pretty early in January if we're looking at an April or a May timeline, because we're going to need time for them to review it. We're going to need time then to advertise it. There's so many little things once we've decided to do something. So I'm assuming that if we don't have it locked down by mid-January, it's going to be much harder to do something in the spring.
Of course. And
Okay.
Since this is the first time we're looking at any program of this type, it could also be something for the fall.
Yeah. We'll see.
So, all right, I imagine, they would want to know in January also to work on it or to approve it, and then start the planning.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember, 4th of July committee used that movie night
No, I
They
don't.
used to have movie night, probably
As a
the first Friday.
Okay.
Wait, who did it? That,
The
I did.
July committee.
Wow.
And
And
they used to hold it down there, but it was, or if not, if the weather wasn't good, they'd hold it in that room, the big room.
okay.
Just so, yeah, I mean,
And what, do you know why it stopped?
well, that's when the Food July committee changed and all that, so I was gonna say, I mean, yeah. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Perfect. No, that's very helpful.
Did they do it in partnership with anyone like the Narberth Business Association, or was it just their
It
thing?
was, actually, it was Ben and Tom Grady, when he was the mayor.
Where did they get the equipment?
That I don't know. I'm sure what they probably did is that they put a television and they probably had, there, and if you want to do like a full-fledged movie with the projector, that's something different. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like renting an outdoor projector is what we were brainstorming last month is,
No, I was gonna say, no, I'm not.
like, because now projectors are more portable, right? And you would just need, obviously, high-speed internet. But anyway, that's always an option, is renting or finding a media company that would give a discounted rental and they could get promotion, et cetera. So there's options. Okay. Well, then we can revisit that in January. And then environmental education programming.
I think that was Jamie who was mainly
Oh,
gonna explore that,
I'm sorry.
but that's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was you, Cheyenne.
Fine. Well, she was the one who was gonna contact Kimberly at Shift and talk to her about their community events
Okay.
and coordinating with her or getting ideas from her, I'm not sure. But I did talk to Joe about it, in terms of what he's heard from people approaching the Environmental Advisory County and what they want to know about. And I'm not sure that there's much opportunity for us there necessarily. Let's see, the notes I have were, people are interested in green landscaping practices. Like not spraying insecticides, using electric instead of gas-powered leaf blowers. But those were really the things that he knew about.
How could that, because there is a Narberth Day,
Yeah.
could that event be leveraged to bring in some of the like more educational pieces or?
I mean, it already is, there's a lot of
Right.
that going on there.
Okay.
Just like with, I mean, that's what the Environmental Advisory Council does at that event.
Okay.
Just like they have a booth with
With all the
educational
information,
stuff,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Now, when the master park plan is approved, realistically, Elm Grove is not as big a lift as the other items on that plan. And, and that, one of the things that would be great to do there is programming,
Yeah.
down the road. Okay. Food truck festival. Now, there's I connected with Alan, and there's no special permit required to do this. For example, when they've had Narberth Day and they've had food trucks show up, those are just food trucks that were contacted by the Civic Association to show up on the street like Mr. Softy does. So I researched the Mannion Food Truck Festival. That is an annual thing now. That had started towards the end of my time living there before I moved out here. And they have a very, they have a very established process for it, which we could easily, use as an outline for our own. They actually require the businesses to apply before it's either January or February of the year. So it happens in the spring, and then they have the application submitted by either January or February, and then they lock down the vendors early in the year, and those vendors actually pay a fee to be part of it. So it's not like they're just having people come out of the goodness of their heart, they're paying to be part of the food truck festival, which is nice. As far as having alcohol served, Alan said that that's something that it requires some additional homework to see if the Greeks or Great American Pub is able to sell off-site. Obviously, when we close Narberth Ave, or Haverford, that's different because it's right in front of their establishment. It's basically the sidewalk, but to have them bring some of their drinks up to State Line parking lot would be ideal to support the local business. So
Yeah.
that'll require some additional homework to
It
see
used to
if.
be a big Oktoberfest, right?
Yeah, and the Oktoberfest was,
that Conshohocken Brewing Company
I
usually?
don't remember because I actually never attended it.
Okay,
but
it
it
was so
was-
much fun.
It was in the park.
It was in the park, there was one time
And
that it
then
was
it
on the
was on the street.
streets, right? But it was in the park a few times, and they had a setup, and I believe it was Conshohocken Brewing
But were
Company.
you paying per drink or did you pay a
No.
flat fee?
You paid a flat fee, and then you got a mug, and then you could.
That's all you could drink.
Right,
So that's a little different than like buying per beverage, 'cause, right? I think
Yeah.
that's something I have to research is how that works. Yeah, like,
Mhm.
is it a flat fee, because they're really giving it to you, kind of, like, you're not really paying for the alcohol, you're paying just you're paying some other, a fee that's not directly for that
And you
drink.
always have to have a desk where you get a band to show that you're 21 or
Yeah.
something, so that way it's not, the onus isn't on the
Sure.
purveyor.
So those are some of the logistics that I have to further research, but as far as getting participants, it would just be a matter of calling food truck companies and saying, would you like to participate?
I'm sure, and trust me, if you call them, the girl next door at the party for her kids, she had 2 food trucks, she said she called like 6, and like they all got back there within like 2 minutes, they all wanted to do it.
And how did she do it? Did she say, well, people are just gonna pay you, or did she pay for the food?
Oh,
truck?
she did get the food truck herself, I was gonna say.
The other thing I will say though, because I was part of the Narberth Day planning for a few years, and we actually had difficulty getting the food trucks because they wanted us to promise a certain volume of people.
Well, yeah, that's the deal.
And so, right, and it was difficult, so the one that we could do then for something like that is just pare down the number of trucks we had.
Start small.
Right.
I would do maybe
Yeah.
2 or 3 trucks,
Like
Yeah.
2
and
trucks,
then whatever, a pizza truck,
Right.
maybe a Mexican truck, and then,
and then a dessert truck or
or
something.
whatever,
right?
something like that.
Right, so if we started small, at least then we could,
Yeah, and then grow.
right,
And because there also has to be some other draw. People aren't just gonna go to Save On parking lot for a few food trucks. What's the other thing that we could include, like music?
Well, maybe you could combine one of the Wednesday night concerts down there, have it up there.
oh, that's interesting.
And
That's
do
not a
it,
bad idea.
or I was gonna say, or maybe you offer one of those young bands, hey, listen, do you want a second opportunity to show your wares? I was gonna say, yeah, I know you're doing June 15th here, maybe you can do it up there on another day, and you and the, just a thought.
Right, well, the kids really like for the July, those games, is that something that, can we have a few of those up there too?
Face painting goes big.
Right, face painting, yeah.
Yeah.
Almost like a pared down version. Do we have an opportunity to use those things to or are those usually brought in by certain groups?
What, the things on that park?
Yeah,
No, they're in the field house.
okay.
So yes, you could do that, I mean, but you could just even make that, I mean, you get 2 tables and just.
Yeah,
and-
toilet
and-
paper,
and-
right.
I was gonna say, yeah, but if you wanna do like the little fish game, maybe you wanna call it the spring fair or something.
Right, yeah.
I mean, another school used to have another school fair years ago with rides and everything.
Oh, really? With rides?
In the Save On parking lot.
In the Save On parking lot, yeah, all the way around,
So it
yeah,
was like the one at St. Dennis.
yes.
Wow.
It's on a smaller scale, but that was, yeah, but and I can remember, and I was young, I remember one of the rides literally used to go out from Montgomery Avenue, it would come,
What?
it would
No
come,
way.
it would go
When those trees were really
Oh,
tiny.
my
Yeah,
gosh.
because
Can you
I don't even know,
imagine?
I don't even know, what I guess you'd call it like the spider or something like that.
Wow. You're lucky you're still here.
Wow.
I tell people that it's funny you said, the scariest ride I've ever been in my entire life was the old roller coaster at Atlantic City. And not because it was, because I'm on it and it's like, and you go in there and you see like 3 tracks, like 3 things are missing in the track. I'm like,
Right,
oh,
right.
oh, this was a really stupid idea to do this.
That's crazy. Oh,
Oh,
Well-
man.
so music, finding a band to perform, or bands, plural, and a DJ. Maybe like a local DJ that wants to advertise themselves for parties can be the MC with their banner that says, you know,
Or
whatever.
you could do a band, or you could do like an 80s night or like a 90s night. I'm trying to think of the genre of kids now that would be.
Because a DJ is logistically easier than multiple bands.
Right.
And
probably
it's
less
less audio.
Well, and if you get, what you can do then, if you want to do that, you can get the DJ who's also, not only that, but kid-friendly, so
Yeah.
he plays music, and
Yes.
then he has a couple games for the kids, and the
Yes.
whole hoop thing, things like that.
Yeah,
That's
dancing.
brilliant. That's a really good idea.
Like-
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
And then you could really, and you could even engage people by having them say like, what song do you want to hear or something, you know, make it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And, okay, so
that's a good idea,
DJ.
though, to have them.
kid friendly.
I'm done, my ideas are done for the year.
You're tapped out? You're
I
gonna leave
I have 2 good ideas a year, and I'm well done.
There you go, all right, well, you know, they came in December, but that.
That's gonna say, it took a long time to ferment, I was gonna say.
All right, well, back to the types of trucks. You said pizza and.
Oh, I was just using it as an example, what do we, you guys?
What other ones?
I think the pizza one always goes over well, especially the new one, because those guys, they make everything, because if you're gluten-free, you're vegetarian, they do everything. I mean, because they know that's what they have to do. And then, listen, yeah, that's much closer to your guys' era than my era, I don't know.
What other types of,
I mean, I think a
Trucks.
Mexican truck always.
Yeah,
goes well.
tacos.
Yeah, tacos.
So we got
are
tacos.
universal.
what other ones can you think of?
I mean, I think guys.
So I mean, the other one,
Yeah.
if you want to put a Philly spin on it, you do the one that does the cheesesteaks and things like that, and chicken
That's
cheesesteaks.
amazing, that's great.
Cheesesteak.
So you have a good idea.
Yeah.
Like a local.
And instead of Mr. Softy, who is overexposed, basically, and nobody wants to hear that song anymore,
Right,
maybe ice cream truck that does like hard ice cream.
right. Or what if like Jenny's, I mean, I don't know if they have the capacity to do something like that.
Yeah,
But say if in town, they,
maybe, well, I'll inquire if they also do mobile
right.
functions. Okay.
It'd be fun though to have like a little fair kind of feeling, that's not just 4th of July. 4th of July is like a million degrees, right? There's so much going on.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
We
we
would-
keep going for like
instead of doing it on an
the
evening,
briefest period of time, and we're like, okay, we have to leave.
I know.
do it on you'd want to do it in like mid-afternoon so that people can enjoy the day, right? For a few hours, so what would be potential timing of this? So we don't want to conflict with, obviously there's in May, there's the Arts and Music Fest, right? There's one in May and there's one in October, isn't there?
Oh, the,
Where they close the street down.
right,
May and October, or just May and September? Whatever it is, I can find it on the calendar, but we wouldn't want to compete with that.
right.
And July is done. Would it be May before Memorial Day? Wait, I'm sorry, April?
April, you run into.
It's too cold, it could be cold.
Well, then what maybe you do is, you kick off the summer in June.
In June, that's.
That's a really good idea, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Seriously,
Such you're out of ideas, and look at you keep.
I know, he keeps hitting in the
We want,
park.
before everyone starts going to the
It's
shore,
like Saquon Barkley tonight, you're just like, you know, running all these
Yeah.
yards and.
you're carrying the load.
Exactly,
Okay, so potential June.
yeah.
June, now
Welcome summer, end of school.
Right.
end of school, yeah, end of
Yeah.
school, beginning of summer. Do we have suggestions on day, Saturday or Sunday?
I don't know, I think what sports are still going on for kids then?
Little League baseball, everything's going on.
Okay.
That's me and basically what you said you want to do in the afternoon. Maybe a Sunday may be easier.
Because we don't have
Yeah.
lights.
So
Right.
that's what I'm
They
saying.
need to be done by, they need to break down by 6 or 7, right?
It's like a 3 to 6 kind of thing, or?
Yeah.
Right.
Will people want more food earlier in the day though, like
Will it be
targeted lunchtime
lunchtime?
events?
Versus dinner.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, and if you wanna attract a lot of kids, the lunch crowd versus dinner,
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think what we run into, you guys have kids, they all have sports till like 3 o'clock.
but not on Sunday.
No, okay, maybe not on
actually,
Sunday.
my kids will do scouts on Sundays,
What time?
in the afternoon, like 3,
I
4.
was gonna say, yeah, that's,
Is Win Pack?
No, they're at Marion,
should
Are
be.
they meeting Sunday also?
yeah.
Is it every Sunday?
Well, it depends on the grade level, but 2 of my kids have bens that meet on Sundays.
Okay.
Yeah, Sunday afternoon.
But that's like.
But they're
9%.
also gonna be done by June. Like the scout year kind of wraps up
Beginning of
with
June.
the school
When
year.
do they do their blue and golds? Is that in May?
That, the blue and gold is early, yeah, like, I don't know.
Oh, that's not a summer game, or.
I mean, it is kind of the end of school, end of thing, but it's earlier than you would think.
Okay,
Like, you're like not really ready for the school year.
Well, that's a minor detail that we could figure out later. What Alan had suggested was putting together everything that we just went through, which is the
It's in
types
May.
of,
It's like early May.
okay, so the types of trucks, like the program that we would like to deliver, which we've just figured out, at least a basic outline. Thank you, Jim.
Mhm.
And, but whether it's Sunday afternoon in the first, second, or third week in June, we can figure out later. And then, okay, and then I'll look into how alcohol works, alcohol sales. Okay. But, yeah, that's a great idea to start small and not bite off more than we can chew. Just a few trucks, a DJ, and some beer and wine, and then if it has momentum and grows and more people want to get involved, then it can just organically grow.
Well, especially if you do it then you can put it out through the schools as well. Hey, join the schools and you join up.
Yeah, reach out to the,
Hey, join us for the end of school year kickoff of summer party, and then you send it to the schools, and then they can send it to the kids, and
yeah.
Yeah, Marion has a newsletter that goes out.
Yeah,
that
that's
kind
it,
of
so.
thing.
Yeah, we have it on, for Belmont Hills.
Belmont Hills.
You say, all the schools have it,
Yeah.
I'm saying that.
Okay. Yeah, advertise on the schools, because obviously we want to reach more than just Narberth. And then nobody listens to the radio anymore, so don't need to get a free spot on WMGK or MMR or
Right.
YSP because nobody's listening to the radio.
Right, to
Put
one
it
certain
on
station.
sports talk radio, that's the only one people have.
That's right. Well, this is great. Okay. And Alan was very excited about this idea.
Oh, that's great.
He was so excited he's leaving.
Come back for it.
You know where he's going, right? He's moving to San Diego.
Well, that's what he told me, because he and we were having an event for the young kids for NAA on like the 28th,
All right.
I was gonna say, and then, and he got back to me, and I went through all the reservation, I did all the proper paperwork, and then he's like, I have you down, because I said, I hadn't heard from you, I said, I don't want this event to come up and people come yelling at me, I said, I had one job, I said, that was my job, I'm done. And then he told me, he goes, yeah, he goes, no, I had you, and I guess, I believe he's staying until February. I think he said February, you know, as he said, he goes, if the Eagles go to the Super Bowl, he'll stay an extra week.
Hopefully have nicer weather there than that we have right now, right? San Diego's so beautiful.
San Diego, I could be a weather forecaster in San Diego.
I know, it's
It's
insane.
77
Right.
and it's,
It's a beautiful every day.
Yeah,
my wife's best friend lives out
Oh,
there.
really?
So it's, yeah.
yeah, it's a perfection.
Well, that was great. Thank you very much, everybody, for all. Rebecca, did you have any input on that? Any additional input?
Oh, no, this is really interesting. It would be fun if it can happen.
Yes. And any new business besides the news that you're going to be departing? Is there any other new business? Okay. As far as the process, I guess you would just email the borough council and the manager, Maggie, and I guess then they would post the position on the website, you know, immediately. Anyway, looking at my notes, nothing else. So I didn't. Okay, so Dennis Brogan said he's okay with the first Tuesday of every month at 7 o'clock. Did you hear back from Jamie?
Yeah, I think she said she didn't really have a preference.
Okay, so they're not, and since we have 5 people here, we can actually vote on it. And we don't have to push it to January. This way, I can let the borough manager know so that they can update the borough calendar. So in case any other groups want to make changes, we get in there first, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I will actually email that tonight. I will email Alan, Matt, and Maggie. It's getting in under the wire, love it. New time and schedule. Okay.
Shane, you're a better person than me. I would have made her do the notes she's leaving.
Well, now, do we have a motion to adjourn at 7:56?
I'd move it.
Second,
I'll second it.
all in favor, aye?
I think you did well.
Great, well, thank you everyone for all of your help and support. Your service over these past couple of years have been so busy, and I really appreciate everyone's time. So, and we will miss you.
I'll try to join the times I can as a community member,
Okay.
but yeah, thank you for understanding that.
Of course.
Trying to get my head wrapped around this evening.
Okay. And,
Thank you.
well, that's it. I'm gonna stop the recording now.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Yeah,
Happy holidays.
you too.